Ladies and gentlemen, Colts fans, we can finally relax on the QB situation. I think we got us a nice QB, man. I think we got a solid QB for a rental. I think Carson Wentz is really good, and he figured out his groove in the Colts offense. I think he really figured it out, and he's seeing success. I mean, it did take a little while, but I say as the weeks went on, I think he really progressed and got better and better as the weeks went on. I think last week was his best impression of his former MVP form, throwing those bullets down the field. Now, you might take that away, being it's granted because it was against the Houston Texans, but I still think it was a good game from Carson Wentz. Now, of course, like I said, he could have been better. Still has those miscues when he misses the open targets that's like underneath or right in front of him. I mean, but at this point, you just know that's going to be Carson Wentz that's not going to make the first read. I think he eyes down certain targets and he just misses an open receiver when he has the chance to do so. I mean, we kind of know that by now, but I think Carson Wentz is still having a solid year. Only threw one interception. That technically, I would say doesn't count because it was kind of like a handoff. So, I mean, you can still count it as a pick if you want, but it's 9 touchdowns and 1 interception. That's still a very solid year so far. Going into week 7, it's still pretty impressive. Top 12 in passing yards. 9 touchdowns. I think his longest pass was 76 yards. I think he's top 10 up there as well for longest passes. He probably averaged 8 yards per catch or per pass. I think right there. His QB rate is 102 at the moment. I believe so. Like I said, he's had a very solid year so far, and I think he's going to keep getting better. As the schedule softens up a little bit for the Colts, I think we'll start to see better performances from him and from the targets as well. I mean, he's getting everybody involved finally. That's one thing we were missing. Is getting all the wide receivers as well. I mean, in 1 week, we've seen the Colts use only 3 receivers. Now you're starting to see the game plan open up for Coach Frank Reich. Carson Wentz is starting to look more comfortable because that's the game plans he's used to. And he just seems to find his groove. You know Carson Wentz loves to throw the football to the tight ends. Mo Alley-Cox is starting to become his favorite player to go to. Hopefully he uses him more in the game, even though he's barely using him. But I think he can use him a little bit more personally. But the fact that he's hitting him on certain targets in the red zone, Michael Pittman Jr., he's starting to catch his little stride, even though I think he can be used better as well. I think he hasn't dropped the ball yet this year. Maybe one time, but I really wouldn't count that in the red zone. But other than that, he hasn't dropped the ball this year. Zachary Pascal, still a reliable wide receiver for Carson Wentz and the Indianapolis Colts. Probably still the most consistent wide receiver. He hit Paris Campbell for his first touchdown last week, but he went down with an injury, which is unfortunate. But the fact that those deep post plays was there, and he was throwing the football on the money down the field. When T.Y. Hilton came back, deep post, the play we were dreaming about came true. And T.Y. was there every time. On the money passes from Carson Wentz. When he sets his feet and he has the time and protection to throw the football, it is sure thing a beauty. And a lot of people didn't think that Carson Wentz was going to be this form going into Indianapolis because of what his last resume in Philadelphia looked like going out of there. Most people thought, he'll never be the same. He's going back. He has issues, yada, yada, yada. He holds the ball too long. He stinks. He's injury prone. All these things going into Carson Wentz. And then he comes in here on a fresh slate, mind cleared, just want to win and play football. And look at the results. Nyheim Hines can be used more in the offense, but they're still figuring that out. They're putting him more at wide receiver, in which we expected. He's using Marlon Mack. Jonathan Taylor is one of his favorite receivers. The big plays that he gets from him in the receiving game is amazing. Those big runs. It's just the offense is fluid right now. It's very fluid for the Colts. It can be even better as the weeks go by. The offensive line protection is more run blocking than pass blocking. I think every Colts fan know that by now. That the pass blocking stinks. But the run blocking is there for the Colts. It just depends on the scheme that they run. If we do outside runs or maybe some counters, we'll see success. Inside runs, not so likely because we're a pull blocking team. We want those pull blocks, the Quentin Nelsons, the Chris Reeves, we want them to pull block on the outside to get those runs going. I think that's where most of the success goes. But Carson Wentz, I mean, like I said, he's been improving week by week. It just takes a little bit of time to get more steady, especially him coming back off this injury with these ankles. But like I said, even though he's not 100%, this Carson is still looking good, and we preached this before the season started. If we can get a 50% version of an MVP type form of Carson Wentz, the Colts will see some type of success on the offense. And he has done that so far, and we're so thankful for that, man. We really are. I mean, like the Colts team in general is just getting better and better by the week. Now, like I said, you guys might take that away because we played Houston and Miami, but I mean, it is what it is. Even in the Baltimore game, they're showing their flashes of potentially having a chance to win that game, but they just sold at the end. But that's just typical Indianapolis Colts. Like, we have momentum and then we lose it. Especially it was on the road in a primetime game against a playoff team that really doesn't lose in the regular season. Especially on primetime, they're like dang near undefeated. So you can't really take away from that game. Lamar Jackson's freaking unstoppable, kind of, sort of. So, like I said, moving forward, the team still looked good. They looked better than what we're used to seeing. The second meeting against the Tennessee Titans should be a better show out. It's unfortunate that they just lost some players. They just lost Caleb Farley, their rookie, I believe. He's out for the year. It's just unfortunate for them. But we play San Francisco next. That should be a good matchup. They lost a lot of key players this year as well, so far. So it should be a good matchup. It really should. Like I said, the Colts has been getting better and better. The defense, Isaiah Rodgers is such a stud. He showed out last week with that diving interception, showing his pure athleticism. Colts fans was waiting to see something like that happen. Kyler Granson is still being underused in the offense. Jack Doyle is still kind of being reliable but underused in the offense as well. But like I said, the Colts are getting better and better. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment section about Carson Wentz so far and how comfortable he looks in the offensive scheme and the game plan Frank Reich draws up. Let me know about the game plan as well. What do you think they can do better to be even better than what they are now? All these things in the comment section. This is Marcus, and until next time, you've been Culture Shock.